Jesus' first words to Simon Peter were, "Come, follow me," found in Mark chapter 1, verse 17. His last words to him were, "You must follow me," found in John chapter 21, verse 22. Every step of the way between those two challenges, Peter never failed to follow, even though he often stumbled. His denial of Jesus is one of the epic failures described in Scripture. Yet, Jesus restored him. When Jesus entered Peter's life, this fisherman became a new person with new goals and new priorities. He did not become a perfect person, however, and he never stopped being Simon Peter. We may wonder what Jesus saw in Simon that made him greet this potential disciple with a new name, Peter, the Rock. Impulsive Peter certainly didn't act like a rock much of the time. But when Jesus chose his followers, he wasn't looking for perfection. He was looking for real people. He chose disciples who could be changed by his love. And then he sent them out to communicate that his acceptance was available to anyone, even to those who often fail. We may wonder what Jesus sees in us when he calls us to follow him. But we know Jesus accepted Peter, and despite his failures, Peter went on to do great things for God. Are you willing to keep following Jesus, even when you fail? Some of Peter's strengths and accomplishment. He became the recognized leader among Jesus' disciples and was one of the inner group of 3. He was the first great voice of the gospel during and after Pentecost. He wrote Peter 1 and 2. Some of his weaknesses and mistakes include being brash and impulsive, often spoke without thinking, and during Jesus' trial denied 3 times that he even knew Jesus. In the days of the early church, he also found it hard to treat Gentile Christians as equals. Some notable facts. He was twice the recipient of miraculous catches of fish that overwhelmed his nets. Probably knew Mark and gave him information for the Gospel of Mark. Some of his lessons from his life. Enthusiasm has to be backed up by faith and understanding, or it fails. God's faithfulness can compensate for even our greatest unfaithfulness. Being a follower who sometimes fails is better than being one who fails to follow. Some key verses about Peter. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. From Matthew chapter 16, verse 18.